This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Mayor Adams meeting today with incoming border czar Tom Homan, why immigrant groups are denouncing the move and what they say Adams should be focused on instead. Plus, accused United Healthcare CEO shooter Luigi Mangione's motives are coming into focus. What we're learning about the suspects today. Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Ross. Welcome to the News Block. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, the wind is whipping out there. Here's a live look outside right now. Let's bring in Liv Johnson for a first look at the forecast. And Liv, I think one of the first things I told you today was it is so cold outside.
Yes, everyone, when they ask how are you today, I just say I'm cold. So that's exactly what we have going on, because we don't have much else. When you look at our satellite radar, barely a cloud in the sky. Yesterday we had a decent amount of rain, but today we are all in the clear, just dealing with those chilly temperatures. It's currently 37 degrees in New York. We have hit 40 out east on Long Island, same with Hartford, 35 for Poughkeepsie, and 40 down the shore. Look at this temperature difference from this time yesterday. A lot of us between 20-25 degrees cooler. Up in Poughkeepsie, 27 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. So a big drop, because yesterday we had highs in the 60s, which was crazy. This Arctic blast that started in the Midwest, kind of stretching down into the southeast, has made its way out east towards us. So now we're all kind of struggling with that, with those chilly temperatures. And it feels even cooler. A lot of us feel below freezing, like New York 27, White Plains feels like 28, Poughkeepsie feels like 25, and Monticello feels like 15 degrees. So we don't have a wind advisory today. We did yesterday, but we're still dealing with some strong winds, like Michelle said. 25 miles an hour currently in New York. These are our steady winds. We also have some wind gusts, 41 miles an hour in the city. A little bit weaker out east, kind of switching from where we were yesterday, but still strong winds throughout the tri-state area. Those will come down a little bit as we go into this evening, but the remainder of the day will still be quite breezy. And then the next few days are looking chilly as well. Michelle?
Can't wait for that. All right. Thank you so much, Liv. Now, a developing story we're following for you this afternoon, the highly anticipated meeting between Mayor Adams and incoming border czar Tom Homan. Homan has said he's looking for partnership, not enemies, to help the city deal with migrants who commit crimes and deporting them as part of Donald Trump's deportation plan. Mayor Adams has said he wants to improve the city's cooperation with the federal government and is exploring ways he can use his executive power to go after migrant criminals. Ahead of their meeting, demonstrators gathered outside City Hall to denounce it. They say meeting with Homan undermines the immigrant community's confidence that it will be protected under the Trump administration.
Our immigrant brothers, sisters, neighbors, we're here to stay, right? We've lived through a Trump administration before. We're getting prepared to live under another one. And we're here to fight back at every step of the way to make sure that our families are not separated, that the mass deportations that he has threatened do not get carried out. Our community is strong. Our home is here. We're here to stay.
The mayor is holding a news conference right now to discuss the meeting with Homan. You can see more on that coming up tonight on Fox 5. Now, the investigation into the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is moving into the next phase. This as suspect Luigi Mangione is fighting extradition to New York. Fox 5's Meredith Gorman is live in the newsroom with the latest. Meredith?
Hey, Michelle. Yeah, so the investigation is ongoing, but one of the things that we've seen right now is the fight to bring Luigi Mangione to New York. It's entered another day, and authorities are trying to get him back here so that he can be put on trial for murder. The 26-year-old man is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Right now, he's sitting in a Pennsylvania jail after police arrested him nearly 300 miles away in a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania on Monday. Now, he faces gun and other charges. In order for Mangione to get into New York's custody, though, he'll have to be extradited, a process which would require Pennsylvania to hand him over at the request of New York State, and is meant to stop people from avoiding justice by fleeing state lines. But Mangione and his lawyer aren't making that process necessarily easy. His lawyer, Thomas Dickey, said at a hearing on Tuesday that they will try to block extradition. New York Governor Kathy Hochul saying on MSNBC this morning that she has been in discussions with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and is working to get Mangione back to Manhattan ASAP so that he can be run through the state's criminal justice system. Now, here's what she had to say about the timeline of the extradition warrant.
I will issue it. He'll sign it. But the judge has already set a date for a hearing on December 23rd. We'll see whether that date has to hold. The governor and I both want him brought back to New York as soon as possible. So there will be some legal activities from the defense lawyer's side, but I believe that the judge will say he's going back to New York. So we're expecting that to happen any day now.
Hochul also told MSNBC that the evidence against Mangione is, quote, very compelling, and she expects the DA here in Manhattan to put forth an ironclad indictment, which is expected to be done any day now. So more or less the second that happens, the extradition warrant will be issued immediately.
Thank you for that update, Meredith. Now, the MTA under fire today after thousands of subway riders had to be helped off 2 F trains that were stalled due to power loss last night. Power was lost just before 5:30 p.m. between J Street Metrotech Station and Hoyt-Skimmerhorn, disrupting the A, C, F, and G lines, which all lost power or had to be rerouted. Now, approximately 3,500 riders were on 2 F trains and had to be evacuated. The MTA told Fox 5 that a Con Ed power failure caused the disruption. Fox 5 obtained video that appears to show a transformer explosion on Smith Street. Now, Con Edison is blaming aging infrastructure and says it needs help from the state to address it.
There's no question. There's a 90-year-old electrical substation that had a fire and an explosion of some kind because the door was off the hinges. That speaks to the urgency of making the investments to the very old pieces of our system that we have identified.
Governor Hochul, meanwhile, is promising a full investigation into what went wrong. Ahead of a Port Authority vote on whether to increase wages, airport workers rallied for fair pay. The proposal up for a vote today would increase the minimum wage for airport workers to $25 an hour. Currently, the minimum is $19 an hour. 10,000 workers would get the pay hike. The increase would roll out in increments through the year 2032. It's expected to pass, but organizers say it won't be their last fight. They'll set their sights on better health and time off benefits. Now, there have been dozens of recent sightings of drones right here in our area, and so far, no one's been able to explain them. And now the Pentagon is denying a big claim of what could be behind this mystery. Fox's Doug Luciter has the latest.
This is quite a mystery and really has a lot of people on edge this morning. The Pentagon can't say who's behind these apparent drone flights, but they are all but ruling out one explosive claim.
And I'm seeing a lot of activity in the air.
A lot of activity, especially over New Jersey and close to President-elect Trump's golf course there. And the drones are said to be large, not the work of hobbyists.
Northern New Jersey is being invaded by drones.
Local officials, including mayors, are stumped, and a briefing from state police and the Department of Homeland Security yesterday didn't exactly clear things up.
My head is about to explode. They know nothing.
And in the midst of all of this uncertainty, a shocking claim from a member of Congress.
I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
The Pentagon immediately dismissed that.
At this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary.
But these reports have been popping up throughout the region. And if it isn't Iran or a foreign adversary, who's behind all of this?
We need hearings about this, more public hearings. The answer that when we just don't know things, that's an intelligence gap, and it's not like fine wine getting better with age.
And this may not be just confined to the East Coast. A Chinese citizen was just arrested in California, accused of flying a drone and taking images over a U.S. military base there. In Washington, Doug Luciter, Fox News.
Some big moves from the White House today. President Biden announced this morning he's commuted around 1,500 sentences and pardoned another 39 people. The Biden administration says this is the largest single-day act of clemency in history. Most of today's commutations were given to people placed on house arrest during the pandemic who have shown personal growth. Biden plans to announce even more pardons in the last few weeks of his administration. He's also reviewing whether to take some inmates off of federal death row. Now, President-elect Donald Trump rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this morning. Trump was Grinned as people chanted USA before Trump opened the trading day. He then raised his fist. Before he rang the bell, Trump was recognized again by Time magazine as its Person of the Year. Now, Trump spoke at the exchange and called it a tremendous honor. Well, they're New York's finest and furriest. The New York City Police Foundation's annual K9 and Friends calendar is out for 2025. It features photos of the NYPD's four-legged heroes alongside their officer partners. This year's calendar honors fallen officers. Sales will go towards important public safety and community engagement programs. You can grab a copy at nycpolicefoundation.org. And a reminder, the Good Day New York crew is giving back to our community with the 3rd annual Good Day Cares special tomorrow. All morning long, Good Day is taking donations to benefit the food bank for New York City, with special guests like Charlemagne the God, the Radio City Rockettes, and more. Now, it's going to be a fun morning and all for a good cause. Tune in to see how much we raise. Now, let's take a live look outside again, and let's bring in Liv Johnson once more for a look at the forecast. Liv?
Hey, Michelle, it looks beautiful out there. Maybe just to watch from the inside, though, because it is chilly. But the good news is the sunshine came back. We also have the winter-like temperatures, though. We were talking about that earlier, just that big drop that we had from yesterday to today. And if you've been outside, you've also noticed the strong wind gusts, which are going to persist through the day, but then calm down by tomorrow. It's also going to be dry for a while, at least for the weekend. We had this system move through. Now it's way off the coast, and this cold front, which is what's bringing those cooler temperatures. And we're still dealing with some snow squalls for some lake effect snow areas like parts of New York and the Midwest. Also very chilly in the Midwest, like 13 degrees in Chicago right now and just 4 degrees in Minneapolis. Still a little bit cool down in the southeast, just 53 degrees for Atlanta, but warmer than they were yesterday. And even though we got a decent amount of rain yesterday, it wasn't enough to really make an impact on our drought. This map updates every Thursday, and unfortunately you see that we are still in a severe drought and part of New Jersey in an extreme drought. So we'll only get up into the upper 30s today. 41 is the high out east, and then our lows tonight are all in the 20s. And remember, it'll feel cooler because of that wind chill. Up in Monticello, just getting all the way down to 14 degrees. Then tomorrow, still very chilly, just a high of 35. We stay in the 30s until Sunday. Warms up just a little bit. And then Monday, Tuesday, we get up into the 50s, but that also brings some rain along with it. Michelle?
Thank you so much, Liv. Now, that's your news block. I'm Michelle Ross. Thanks for joining us. Tune into the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 right here on the Fox Local app for all the day's news as it develops. We'll see you back here tomorrow.